Hello YouTube, hello Amanda. This is a video response to your video on dividing tasks and chores. I'm really glad this subject has been brought up. It is often a topic of debate in our household. Yeah. So how do we go about it? First off, if I lay down the situation for you, then I'll maybe make it clearer why things are the way they are, or how we work through things the way we do. I'm a stay-at-home mum of one child, and I know Amanda, you know this already, and I know maybe a few people know this already too, but whatever. For those of you who don't know, here it is. I'm a stay-at-home mum. My husband has a pretty good kind of, only sometimes stressful office job. It's not a physical job, it's a very mental job. I'm not going to tell you what it is, sorry. And he works a 40-hour week. He has to work. It sometimes works out a bit longer. And we are building a house. Yeah. Right. So, how things really work for us. I do most stuff, if I'm totally honest. And yeah, most stuff to do with my son and most stuff to do with the apartment. As you can see, it's a real mess. We are building a house and we're slowly, I mean the house isn't finished yet, but we're going to be living next door to my mother-in-law and we're slowly moving stuff up, so hence the mess. Yeah, and I'm myself a bit of an all or nothing person. I can be untidy, or I can let things get untidy. Secretly, I'm a neat freak, and when I clean or tidy or do things, I like to not be disturbed. I'm a bit weird in this way. So he would often come home from where he'd been all week, working on Thursday evening, and I would make sure, because I had nothing else to do at the time, I didn't have a job for a while when we first moved to Germany, I would make sure the place was looking really nice, and I would blitz through every single thing in the entire apartment till it was immaculate in 2.5 hours. I could really do that. I'm one of those people, and this is the way I wrote essays at university and everything. I was one of those people who could really work right up until the deadline. I will always met it. I will have a frenzy of activity, undisturbed. Now with a child that unfortunately is not possible. I actually get quite frustrated. I know it's not fair because it's not my child's fault, but I want to have the time to just go through the entire apartment in this kind of Tasmanian frenzy of fury and, not fury, cleaning and tidying. So what does my husband do? Since I got pregnant, as with you Amanda, he took over the cooking. He wanted to do that there, he loves to cook, and he is, I mean, I actually can cook quite well, if I may be honest, but my husband, wow, he could become a chef. I'm glad he wouldn't, because the hours would be terrible. But I mean, I can't cook anywhere near as good as he can, I'll be honest, and I'm not even going to try. Yeah, so he does most of the cooking and I will then clean up after him, which is actually one of the biggest areas of discussion because he's very creative when he cooks. Yeah, and up until recently, I was also taking Luca to bed, you know, doing the whole bedtime routine, doing the whole caring for him routine, and in all honesty, recently I flipped out and said, you know what, if it carries on like this, I don't think I can handle a number 2 that soon. I need more time. And I know that's maybe a bit unfair, but it was actually honest. I was really kind of at the end of my tether. Bear in mind we are building a house, and he's busy with that. So I understand that. And lately my husband, and I was explaining to him, is the little things, is knowing that he sees, 1, what I do, and 2, just does little things here and there to make my life a little bit easier, like say for example making sure bottles or sippy cups and everything all clean and sterilised in the morning before he goes to work. He will do that occasionally. Emptying the dishwasher, occasionally taking the rubbish out, and you know, actually last night he's really taken this on board, I've got to say. He will take Luca to bed more often, he reads some stories more often to take him to bed, and he will take out the rubbish. He took it out last night with he didn't say anything, he just did it. I nearly fell from shock, but it was lovely, you know, and I made it clear, you know, not in an overly like silly way that he'll think, oh my god, I'm being patronising, but I made it clear that I appreciate it. And what I started to do recently, so that because I think sometimes that men, well, it's not so much men, but people who aren't staying at home, or no, staying at home isn't wrong. People who aren't maybe the primary caregiver for a child and who are responsible for organising that and making sure everything is in place. All the organisation that has to go on in making sure that a child's day runs smoothly, because let's face it, that's what often makes the difference between a crabby child and a happy child, is the routine. I explained to him recently what I do all day. And once or twice when I was sick recently and I couldn't really do much, well, I still did a lot, but he got an idea of what my day or what our days involve, and he has been a lot more helpful since then. So, but also what I do is you know, say we come home from the build, we've been up there in the evening checking out that things have been done properly, which pushes you know, the time we have to get Luca into bed. It's a little race against time, because we don't want to get overtired, because then we won't get into sleep, etc. So we'll come in, maybe bottle needs to be get ready, or his last meal for the day needs to be done quickly, and maybe he needs a bath too, and I will I'm really quite a bit teacherly and bossy, but in a nice way, and I say, well look honey, so one of us needs to give Luca a bath and the other one needs to get dinner ready, and then the other one will take him to bed, etc. What would you rather do? And I give him choices. And I feel a bit mean maybe, but it's either that or I will be stressed trying to get it all done on time and Luca won't get to bed on time, things like that. So if I'm in a pinch, I will actually go, well, you've got this, you've got A and you've got B, in a really friendly but really assertive way. And he will, if I'm totally honest, normally choose the easier option, but my work is still almost halved and Luca gets to bed on time. So that's how we're working through things at the moment, and huge improvement. I would say, if you're frustrated as I have been to people out there, do really talk to your partner, and you know, if you are resentful, tell them in a really calm way. I mean, if you've got most, you know, good relationships, I'm sure we'll stand up to it. A lot of the problems that my husband and I have had are problems, you know, areas of debate, have been born out of me not saying anything and swallowing everything, and I'm sure a lot of women unfortunately tend to do this. Because you want to be perfect, you have this idea, you know, you're a stay-at-home mum, you have to provide in that way for your family, you have to take care of them, and sometimes, hey, you can't, or doing it is driving you nuts, and you have to be honest about how you feel and where you need help, which I have done recently, and my husband, being the lovely man that he is, has really stepped up to the plate. So communication is absolutely key, whether it's about setting up a system or, you know, just on the spur of the moment saying, could you do this for me, or look, this and this needs to get done, which one would you rather do? It helps. There are lots of ways around it, but do talk about it. Don't let it fester. Well, anyway, bye bye people.